The George Floyd murder trial may be over, but the George Floyd Autonomous Zone lives on indefinitely. Much like in Portland and Seattle, protesters and activists are getting awfully comfy and have no plans on leaving the square. And they've got rules for visitors, especially if they're white. Here's a fun sign. White people should, quote, decenter themselves before entering. Bring your own processing to other white folks so that you will not harm people of color. And confront white folks doing problematic things. Joining me now, Andy No, author of Unmasked. Andy, thanks so much for taking the time to join me.
My pleasure.
Tell me a little bit about what your reaction is to seeing this type of permanent racialist agenda advanced in the wake of the George Floyd verdict.
Well, I'm not surprised that they're not going away. These autonomous zones, whether they be in Minneapolis or Seattle, really have nothing to do with the people or causes they're supposedly named after. It's about flexing control against the state, intimidating the public. And in this case, in Minneapolis, is George Floyd Autonomous Zone. It's actually a literal shakedown. They have a list of 24 demands, and that includes hundreds of thousands of dollars, the political prosecution of their enemies, among other demands.
You know, this is symbolic, but it's also something that I think is deeply troubling because it represents a type of anarchic, racialist approach to the way that we engage in our politics that is designed to create fear in all the people who basically surround these different areas. What can we do as citizens of the United States to push back against these ideas and to make it known that we're not willing to accept this kind of dominance from a mob designed to scare other citizens?
Well, unfortunately, I think the fear is legitimate. These aren't just soy boys who are playing around on the street. They actually have checkpoints. They have people there with guns, knives, and other weapons manning those checkpoints. And these areas have become deadly. In Minneapolis, there was a shooting there where somebody died. When I was on the ground in Chaz in Seattle last year, there were 6 shootings and 2 murders and attempted rape. In regards to what people can do, if you live there, you would think that you would turn to your elected officials to bring some type of control over this anarchy. But we've been going on for a year now, these weak leaders who have just allowed this to go on because they're terrified of these far-left militant activists.
It's really disturbing. It's really disturbing to see, Andy. I know that you're one of the few people who are brave enough to stand up to all of these folks. Thanks so much for taking the time to join me tonight. Thank you for watching Fox News Primetime. I'm Ben Domenech.